So welcome back, guys. Our first training session for 2018. I'm so excited to see everyone on tonight. I've missed all your beautiful faces, and I hope you all had an amazing Christmas and New Year and all of that stuff with your family. I know I definitely did, but I'm definitely ready to totally get back into it now. I've had a really good break, and I think we all kind of lost a bit of momentum in December because, you know, that's just what happens. People get busy and their focus is probably not on their health, and our focus isn't 100% on our business either. But that's okay, because it's a new year and it's a new month, and we can make up for it in January because everyone's super excited to get back into it. And from the conversations that I've been having with other teamies, I think people are really ready just to step it up. So what I wanted to say first was, hi Kylie, haven't seen you for ages either. This is so weird. What I wanted to say first was, don't get disheartened, and if you weren't in, you know, the position that you wanted your business to be in at the end of last year, you know, let's all try and make a fresh start. To be honest, I was hoping, well, not hoping, I was working towards getting to NMD by the end of the year, but I knew it would be a massive stretch because December just is pretty, you know, flat for so many of us in our business. But that's okay. I'm picking myself up, and I know a lot of you girls are, and I think we really need to just reflect back on what we did or didn't do last year and what we're prepared to do or to take more action on this year. And I think, you know, we can talk about goal setting and New Year's resolutions and all that kind of stuff, but most of us know that those New Year's resolutions, especially, I think there's studies showing that by the 14th of January, something crazy like 93% of New Year's resolutions have already gone out the window in 14 days of starting the new year. So I think it's really important when you're setting your intentions and your vision boards and things like that, that you really just get focused on having some achievable goals, but also some stretch goals, because we know that we don't want to just play safe and be hitting every single goal. And the only way that we can stretch ourselves and grow ourselves as people and as business women is to really stretch ourselves and step out of our comfort zones. And so what I wanted to focus on mainly tonight was just to help get a bit more clarity, and hopefully you girls can get a bit more clear focus on exactly what you want this year and how you can achieve that. So I think it's really important, once you've set some personal goals, some business goals, you know, some health goals, things like that, have a call with your upline or even a sideline buddy who, you know, you kind of have a lot of things in common with, and try and keep each other accountable for that. I know Marie and a couple of other girls have already sent me their goals for this year, which is awesome, and they're asking me to check in with them basically fortnightly at least, just to see how they're going. And I think if you do that with your upline or with a sideline buddy, it's really going to help you take some action. So we're all really good at setting goals. We are all really good by now, most of you, at creating vision boards and knowing that it's all about creating that vision and having that vision of what you want this year to be. But I think it's really important that you've got to know those steps to start taking that action, and you have to really emotionally feel it and think about exactly why you want that. Like if you're saying, I want to go you know, on a holiday to Bali, what are you going to do to be able to achieve that? Like, yes, you want to grow your business and you want to start earning some money, but do you know exactly how much money that you want to be saving monthly or earning monthly to reach that goal? And if you don't, reach out to one of us and we can help you to let you know what stage of your business, how many clubs you need to be earning that amount that you need to be earning per month. Because I think it's really important to focus on clubs if you're focusing on the money that you want to land in your bank account each month. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about is that, are you willing this year to make some sacrifices? Like, we all have 24 hours in the day. Yes, some of us are busier than others. Some of us are still juggling work, full-time work, or 3 kids, or whatever that might be. But if you're making this business a priority, and you can really just schedule consistently, like every single day, half an hour out of the 24 hours that you have to commit to this business, I think it's really going to, you know, start growing your business and start getting that momentum happening. And the way that you're going to grow and feel like you're actually achieving stuff is by doing it when you don't feel like doing it. Like, we all have bad days, whether it's with kids, whether it's with work, whether it's just that we're feeling really shitty that day and hating on the world or whatever it might be. When you do that half an hour of work at the end of the day, and it might not be until 9 o'clock at night when you've got the kids into bed or you're home from work and the gym and whatever that might be, you're going to feel really good about yourself when you do that work and you show up consistently every single day, even when you don't feel like it. I think that's when you really start to grow, but also you're just getting the ball rolling and doing it. It's not stopping and starting. It's not like smashing out 3 hours on a Saturday and then not doing anything for the rest of the week. It's really just about being consistent, but also having that focus on why you want this. You know, go back to when you first signed your franchisee application, like re-sign yourself. Print out a Juice Plus application form if you've been in the business for a little while now and, you know, you want to really try and get this year off to a really strong start. Think back to when you started and when you were signing those forms and how excited you were to start, you know, creating that extra stream of income from home and joining our tribe and being inspired by so many people who we are so blessed and lucky to be surrounded by. And I think if you get that whole feeling and the emotion of what you actually want from this and what you can create, it's definitely going to help you on those days where you don't feel like showing up for your business. So also there's sacrifices, like I was saying before. If we're wanting to show up, we're wanting to, have a successful business and start getting that momentum happening and start attracting team and attracting customers, we need to make some sacrifices, or we can make excuses. Like, it's up to you. This is your own business. And I think that's a hard thing that I found sometimes was I was so used to having a boss and having deadlines and I work well under pressure. I always leave everything to the last minute and then I can just smash it out. And that's the hard thing about this business, is that we don't have someone looking over our shoulder and stuff like that, but you need to choose your hard. And I think if you have a bit of a plan, a schedule, whatever works for you. I know we talk about using the grid like all the time and we sound like a broken record. If the grid doesn't work for you, choose something else. Like now I'm using the business activity tracker, and I know a lot of you guys are too. And it's just so simple, like especially for you girls who get a bit overwhelmed because you are trying to juggle so many things. Like, it's all on one sheet of paper. You know, you can see exactly the conversations that you're having, whether they're to do with business or product. You know exactly where you're up to with those conversations. If you've followed up with them, what's the next step that you need to do to, you know, to be achieving those and starting those conversations, because we all know this business is really about relationships, and we need to be stepping out of our comfort zone to have those relationships. We're not going to grow, and we're not going to grow our business if we don't start having those conversations. And what I've found is that probably for the first 12 months, I was hiding behind Facebook. I did build my business to probably SSC just by winging it and doing all of my work on Facebook. I felt so much more comfortable just on Messenger having conversations with people. Like, I'd never even got a customer on the phone and talked about the product. It was all through Messenger, and I think I was lucky, kind of. It was probably just luck in that way. But now I've realized that it is about relationships and having that trust with people, but also just connecting with people when you're out and about at the shops and, you know, on Messenger. And we all know those high paying activities that we need to be doing. So are you willing to make those sacrifices? Are you willing to make those short-term sacrifices for the long-term gain of what you want this to be? Like, do you want to be feeling how you felt at the end of last year, at the end of this year? And if the answer is no, and you're not where you wanted to be by the end of last year, what's going to change? What do you need to do? Like, look back on that wheel of life, or what, you know, those things, and see where your belief is. If your belief's really low in yourself, work on that. If your belief's really low in the business, or the, you know, the product, or whatever that might be, go to work on that and build your belief. And we all know that this business is a self-development course, like it's a personal development course in disguise. We all really love that we're working on ourselves and we're going to work on ourselves every single day, but we need to be growing as a person before we can grow our business. And you hear so many of the NMD speeches at conference and stuff, you know, and that's what they all say, that you need to, it's not so much the title of getting to the top position in the company, it's more what they have achieved and how much they have grown as a person along the way and along that journey. So I think you really just need to not be attached to the outcome, like just follow the process. Some months we are going to have quiet months, like that's a reality. Everyone has that. NMDs have that. I'm sure Adam and, you know, so many of our leaders have that as well, but it's not a reason to throw in the towel and quit and say that this doesn't work. We know that it's the conversations that we're starting to have now that's going to benefit us in 2 or 3 months down the track. It's planting those seeds and having those conversations. And what are you setting yourself as goals for this year? Like, are you happy just to have 2 conversations a week? Are you just going to, you know, go with the flow and see what happens? Like I said before, it's your business. So if you're happy to plod along and you're happy with where you are in your business right now, that's totally fine, you know. But if you're not happy and you're feeling frustrated or whatever that might be, now is the perfect time to start stepping up and going, right, what do I need to do? What am I feeling frustrated about? And get to work on that so that you can start building that belief and that confidence. And that's going to come across to others as well. You know, if people are asking you how you're going with the business and stuff, and you kind of just don't have that certainty in your voice, they're going to pick that up straight away in that first sentence that you say. So yeah, just go to work on you know, achieving that. And I think there's so many, we're lucky in a way that the team, the wider team, share so much with us, and they might post, you know, videos that they've watched that they feel was really beneficial, and just save it. If you don't have time to watch it right then and there, just save it so that you can multitask, and when you're out walking or washing up or whatever that might be, you can listen to that and jot some points down, and then you've got a bit more you know, certainty about yourself as well. And another, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about? Yeah, so how many hours are you prepared to put into this business to get to the point that you want your business to be at? And I think that's going to be different for everybody, but I think it really needs to be on a daily basis. I don't think you can say like 5 hours a week. I think it's more successful and more achievable if you cut that down into daily you know, time slot. So if it's only 15 minutes, that's fine. You know, you can do a lot in 15 minutes if you're focusing on those high paying activities. Don't just be busy being busy and scrolling on Facebook and feeling like that you're working on your business. Get into those high paying activities. Follow up with people who you might have had conversations with back in July. You know, if you've got your grid and you keep them all together in a, you know, little folder or whatever, or if you're not that organized, scroll back through Messenger. And now is a perfect time to start so many of those conversations, because people are so ready now. And I think it's crazy, and you're shooting yourself in the foot if you're not rekindling those conversations and those relationships, because that's what I've been focusing on the last week, and I've got so many more conversations happening, and people are really interested now, because it's summer, Christmas is over, we're all feeling shit, we've eaten too much, we've drunk too much, we've all had lots of fun, but now we're ready to get stuck back into it. And with the shred, like, that's perfect timing. We can really promote that now. People are going to get so much interest, and it's just all in mindset. You know, if you think positive and you're putting it out there to the universe or whatever it might be, it's going to come back to you tenfold. Whereas if you still have that negative mindset, it's not going to come across to people that you're certain about this, you're loving this, you have 120% in the product, you know, you love the community, the business is amazing, all of that stuff. So even though we think that maybe people can't see that, and we're thinking that or whatever, but we're doing a really good job of putting it across that we're pretending, people can 110% see through that. So I think it's, you know, it's definitely all about mindset. We know we have an amazing product. We have a business structure that works. We see that, you know, personally and from the wider community as well. So hopefully everyone's really focused and determined and inspired to make 2018 one of their best years yet. I'm certainly excited to see so many of you grow your businesses and to have fun along the way, because that's what we're all about. This isn't another thing that you should be thinking at the end of the day, you know, oh God, now I've done the dishes, I've done whatever, now I've got to do half an hour on my Juice Plus business, because that's not what it's all about. And if you're feeling like that, then maybe you need to try and work a bit more on what's in alignment for you and what your values are and your why. Focus on why you got into this in the first place. So that's all that I have to cover tonight. And now I'm going to pass over to Kylie, who's going to share a little bit around stuff like that as well. So I'll just spotlight you. Hey, lovely.
Hey, guys. Happy New Year, everyone, for those that I haven't spoken to already. I just want to touch on a couple of things that Nick, you know, touched on. And one thing that she mentioned there was, you know, about title and focusing on title of getting to NMD. And, you know, I guess I have that personal story myself, you know, being the NMD, and you do get wrapped up in that, and it can take away from everything else in business. So when you start to look at your goals for this year, I am honestly 100% going to encourage you not to focus on a title, because a title doesn't give you really what you want unless you're someone that loves recognition from a specific title. It really doesn't give you any extra money or anything. It's not like you go to NMD and it's like, oh, you get a pay rise, right? Like when you're a, you know, a manager in a bank or something like that. So as quick as you can get there, you get there and you're like, oh, okay. And I'll be honest with you, NMD, the work starts there. Like it's just a whole new journey, you know, of something else, another discovery, another personal development, another group that you're getting added into. So I love that Nick touched on that, because it is really about clubs. You know, we can have NMDs in this business that are earning less than an SC or an SSC purely because they don't have that structure and clubs and that underneath them. My business has gone up and down, you know, with structure for a long time. It's been one of my hurdles. Janika's had structure. I've had Payline. We always said if we can combine our businesses, it'd be freaking amazing. We would have the best business, but you can't. And every business has its up and down, but it's what you do with that and what you decide, you know, that you're going to allow that to be, you know. And on that, I want to touch tonight with the first thing for you guys. One of the things I've often come up with is those quality questions. And one question I love for you guys just to take note of or you write down, because it really, I guess it happens in all aspects of life, whether it be your business, your personal life, your family, is what do I need to do right now? Or what can I do right now? Because no matter what's happening in your business, what's happening in your personal life, whatever, if you ask yourself that question, it really takes your thought process and your distractions away from the negative, and you start focusing on, well, what do I need to do? Okay, so it's such a simple question. Linda shares it so much about quality questions is what this business is all about. Quality questions, sharing, relationships. Is that Evie? You know, it's simple, right? It comes back to being really simple. So I wanted to start that tonight because it's something I'm going to ask myself. And another thing which my children are now using on me is we have a thing in our family, will this matter in 5 years from now? And so when I'm going off at them about doing something, they're saying, will that matter in 5 years from now? It's really not the context we use it in kids. I want to strangle them when they do it. But when someone says no to you in the business, will that matter in 5 years from now? Right? No, of course it's not going to matter, because you're going to speak to so many more other people. So having your tools, I guess, with simple little things like that, as opposed to, I think over the Christmas period, I've had a couple of team reaching out to me, and it's come to the point of over-analyzing and overcomplicating. And it's like, hold on, let's just pull those reins back, guys. We need to go back to simplicity and stop over-analyzing and overcomplicating. The system is there. Whenever you don't know or you're in doubt, go back to that system. Go to your upline. You know, it is really simple, but sometimes we try and overcomplicate it by going outside of that, which is really, if we just go back to it, that's how the leaders have created the success, and success leaves clues, right? So we need to follow that system. But I did a coaching with the New Zealand guys on Thursday night, and I did post this in the Team Believe page, and I actually found that everyone that was on the call the other night were like, oh no, I didn't see it. And I was like, it's a little bit of a thing, that a goal, and I think Tanika, I haven't even spoken to Tanika, but we have before, that we probably both have, is for guys to see more that's happening in our page. You know, we post things and you'll get like 60, 70, 80 people or something that like it, but not one person engages or gets interactive or, you know, helps to motivate and inspire others. So I was like, wow, I've done, you know, something that Lauren Slocum, now she's under Jeff Roberti. If you don't know who Jeff Roberti is, go and Google him, but she's under Jeff Roberti. So when Lauren Slocum posts something that's so simple for us to work on in our business, and you share it in the team page and you do a training and no one's seen it, you're like, holy shit, like, how do we get this message across? You know, like, so maybe I was saying with the guys on New Zealand is, there's so many things going through our newsfeed. We're not going to see everything, right? And we are on so many pages. But for me personally, I make an effort at whatever time of the day that I'm doing something. And I'll be honest, the last 3 weeks, I haven't done a lot. Every now and then I've checked in and done a bit of, you know, bits and pieces. I've had family time, but I have my few pages that I really just check in and just scroll through. You know, and Team Believe is one of those, because I'm not the only one that posts on there. Nick posts stuff, Beck, Trace, everyone posts things, and everyone has their relevance. So I just make it a conscious thing that I'm just going to go and scroll through those couple of pages that are really important to me, and I know are going to have, you know, some really useful information. And it's a great way to, if you're doing PD or something for the day and you don't know what you want to focus on, go to one of the pages. You will see a recording, a share from Tony Robbins or something. You don't even have to actually go and look on Google. Look in one of our team pages and you'll find it. So I found that a bit of an aha moment, but I did share it with them the other night. And it's a 9-step, what's actually a 10-step process that Lauren shared. And I'm just going to quickly touch on it tonight, because it was really something that got me into gear this year. Like, I think most of you know, I'm very passionate about vision boards. I don't know if you saw my live that I did, but I shared, you know, my live and how I actually take everything off the vision board and I put it into a folder, and I had my 2016, my 2017, and it was so different. And the reason the 16 to 17 was different, as Tanika shared before, the goals was the why behind each goal that I had in 2017. Whereas in 2016, there was all these pretty images that looked pretty. It didn't look as pretty in 2017, but 2017 I achieved a lot more because I had the emotion behind it and the why behind each goal. There's no point putting on there a new car or anything like that if you actually don't have a reason why you actually want to achieve it, or how that's actually going to make you feel. So I did share mine, I did a live, and I said I'd love for everyone to sort of put up their visions, whether it's a whole vision board in your office, you don't need to do that, or whatever you do to get you inspired. I think that would really help everyone to be like, wow, look what they're trying to create, you know, this year. It would be, you know, quite nice. And it's just for us all, we're such an amazing group of supportive, inspirational people. And I think if everyone puts up something like that, it's just going to get everyone else, you know, a bit more motivated. But when I talked about that, I was like, it's really interesting that the number one thing on Lauren's thing was write down your goals, focusing on your why. You know, so it's not just about having these goals for this year, it's why do you actually want to achieve them? You know, so that was number one. Number two was create a vision board from them, you know, and if you don't really know, I remember when I thought about vision boards, I thought that was such a like weird, like, I don't know, hippie kind of thing to do. I'm not doing one of those. And then I was like, how do I do it? And I noticed that Lauren Slocum had a video. So if you don't even know where to start, honestly, don't be silly, because I was that person. I had no idea how to create it. I'm not creative at all. I'm not artistic. So I watched her video, and it's an amazing video just about some things that you should maybe think about. You know, what areas are going to go on your vision board? It doesn't need to be all about finances. Like, I realized in 2017, my health goals weren't achieved. And it was a bit like, oh shit, because I sold my business in September, and I think I went on a wine thing for like 3 months, and I'm like, right, thank God the shred is coming up, because I certainly need it, you know, but my goals weren't achieved, right? Health goals were like completely down, but finance goals and things like that were achieved. So the next one, which was a really important one, is, are you using the JP products every day and becoming a role model? And I was like, bom bom. I can promote BWS probably very well, like, if I'm honest with myself. So I was like, okay, that shit needs to change, you know, because people aren't going to join you if you're not being the role model, you know, of what you're actually promoting, right? Like, I've always been known as the fitness kind of person, and I'm like, well, shit, I don't really think I reflect that anymore. And that's just me being 100% honest with myself and owning it. So, you know, are you taking the JP products? And if you're not on all the products, then it may not be a financial point for you. Like, maybe you can't afford to be on the shakes and the omegas. Well, then how many customers per month do you need in order to be able to do that? Because I've shared my story many a times. In the beginning, I was only on the capsules, and 9 out of 10 were only on the capsules. So it was when I started the shakes that my customers started taking the shakes. I shared the shakes all the time. And then as soon as that question come up of, what do you think of them? I said, I don't take them. Like, that's pretty bad, right? Hey, these shakes are absolutely amazing. You got to take them. What do they taste like? I don't know. I don't take them. You know, no one's going to do that, right? But I had to find a way for me, you know, to do that. So if you're not on the products, then maybe that might be a goal of finding a way financially for you to be able to afford them. Because the more of the products you're on, the more uniquely and authentically you can share the benefits, you know, of the products and the program. You know, and that step 3 goes with the program as well. Are you a part of the program? Do you follow the recipes? Are you incorporating them into your everyday, you know, lifestyle and genuinely sharing them? Are you going to barbecues and taking, you know, a treat from the JBT program to start a conversation? You know, there's so many things that we can be doing to really be a role model of our products. The next one was create a tribe of like-minded people around you. And I think that is so important. You know, sometimes it's hard to remove negative people from your life, and you guys might not want to, and that's completely okay. But I've removed like my very best friend, like from when I was 14. We even were there for each other's birth of their children. You know, it was a really sad moment for me, but I had to remove her from my life because she only wanted to be in my life for gossip. Other than that, she didn't care about my success, and it was all her. So I needed to remove her from my life. It was hard. But I'll tell you now, when I did it, it was like, wow, like, I feel amazing. You know, it was more me telling myself a story that I had to hold on to that relationship. But that relationship was toxic. It wasn't healthy to me. It wasn't taking me further towards my goal. It was pulling me further away from it. You know, so ask yourself those questions with some relationships. You know, are they the people that I really want to spend my time with? You know, they may or may not be. You know, you get to choose the people that you spend all your time with. The next one is become attractive on social media. I think this is so important. I have a girl that's was thinking about joining our business, and she's not. And I'm kind of feeling a little bit blessed because her social media is very much like every negative situation in life. You know, like, she goes through a beaner and she can't find a car park and the whole world knows about it. It frustrates me as well, but that's not inspiring. And people are like, oh, like, yeah, I want to follow her. She's amazing. You know, she stubbed a toe the other day. She put on, you know, and all the swear words and everything came out when this post. And I'm like, really? You know, so think about what are you actually posting on social media? Is it, you know, and ask yourself that question, would I follow me? Is this inspirational? Is this posting towards the tribe and the people that I actually want in my business? And I know if you're starting out, you're like, I just want everyone. I can assure you, you don't. You don't want everyone. You want a certain person in your business that it comes back to that like-minded. You know, I don't want that negative Nancy in my business, really. You know, at the end of the day, it's not who I want. Lead by example and have impeccable work ethics. I think this is so important, especially if you start to bring on a team, and even when you're still not have a team, people are watching you. And if they see that you're showing up, like Tanika said in the beginning, every single day, they're going to follow and lead by, you're going to lead by example, and they're going to be like, well, that's what she does, so that's what I'm doing as well. And people joining you will see that consistency. They'll see that, you know, you are really invested in this, you believe in it, and this is where you're going. There's certainty there, because people want certainty. If you're not certain about what you're doing and leading by example, then people aren't going to be certain. They're going to be like, oh, I'm not sure if I want to join her just yet. Next one is, this is probably really relevant to this part of the year actually, is discipline your disappointment, right? If you had a disappointing December, I did. I'm like, I wanted to check the VO today to see how much my pay was going to be for January. And I'm like, nah, I'll do that tomorrow. Because I know it's going to be disappointing, right? But the flip side of that is success is never far away. How true is that, right? You can have the shittiest of December, go and drink and eat and binge, but you can turn it around in January. It's so easy in our business, and it's probably the best month to do it because of people wanting to get fit and healthy. Like, I'm putting my hand up for the 8-week shred because I'm like, hey, I need this. I'm turning 40 soon and I'm not going to be fat and 40. So I'm like doing the 8-week shred. The next one is always put your team members first and help others. You know, like if it's just all about you, then people get really sick of that, right? It's about what do they want, helping them create what they want. If they want to earn $200 to $500 a month, but you think they've got potential to earn 10,000, let them be. That's what they want to do, and they want to earn 200 to 500, and that's okay. Maybe next year things might change in their life, and they may want to earn more. I was that person. Adam was so frustrated with me because I was like, Adam, I've got the gym, I'm doing fine. You know, now I don't have the gym. I'm like, shit, Adam, can I have a catch up with you? I need to earn more money. Things have turned around, right? But he always loved and respected me where I was at. He showed me what was on the table. He loved me and helped me, and that, you know, and now I'm like, okay, things are different now. So always looking out for your team and asking them, is this something you want? This is what you can achieve this month. I'm here to help you. Is it what you want? If they don't want it, then that's okay. You know, don't get disappointed in them. Number 9 I love is never ever give up. I know I've wanted to give up about 100 times in this business, and I think everyone, if they're honest, has done that. And if they say they haven't, I think it's a load of shit and they're not honest with themselves, because seriously, if there's not a time in this business that you want to give up, then you're going to give up. Like, it's just how it is. But the difference between someone that creates success and doesn't is the one that reaches out to somebody and says, hey, it's really tough right now. I'm having all these challenges. I need some help, you know, and don't be afraid to ask for that. But if you give up, what's that getting you? You know, that vision board, those goals and everything that you got on there, you might as well throw it out, you know, unless you're going to go and do something else, right? But do you want to be that person that jumps from one thing to the next, I've had those people in my team, you know, and I see them on, I think, 5 network marketing businesses down the road in like a year. I'm like, oh, off she goes again. You know, like, people are going to follow that, right? So just never ever give up. And really, step 10 is repeat 1 to 9. You know, just keep repeating it until it's embedded within you. Because I know that each and every one of you have got what it takes, right? You came here for a reason. You saw something. You didn't just join because someone said, hey, give me your credit card, I'm going to take $165 from you. You wanted something. You saw something. What was that? And if you've been in the business for a while and you're at that stage of, hey, I'm really challenged right now, think back to what was I doing when I created success in the beginning? Because that's how simple it was, right? You're probably speaking to more people. You're probably more confident. You're probably more passionate. It's just so simple. And going back to those simplicity things and not overcomplicating it, because it doesn't need to be like that. And then I just want to finish off with, if you haven't booked for conference, then why not? And that's my tough love for the night. Because I'm just being honest with you guys, if you really are doing this business, there's no expenses in it every month. Like, honestly, the only expense you have is your own product, which is helping your own health. So I don't see that as an expense. Then why aren't you coming to conference? I know it's in Perth. You all band together, you get accommodation together, book when your flights are cheap. Like, Nick and I got our flights for like $240 or something return. Like, you know, Jetstar always has that stuff happening. But conference to me is a non-negotiable. It really gives you that fire that you need. You're keeping close to it. You see so much on that stage. And then if you are going to commit to conference, is what do you want to go to conference as? You know, how do you, because you get to walk the stage. You guys that have been there have seen it. Some of you haven't, but you know, you get to walk the stage and it's pretty freaking amazing. You know, like, to be honest, I'm not like I'm walking the stage as an NMD. I've got goals of what club I want to walk the stage as, because NMD's done, right? I'm going to walk the stage as an NMD, but I don't, that's not as exciting as, well, what do I need to do now? So mine is more on clubs for what I want to walk the stage as. And I encourage each and every one of you, if you're coming, to really get clear on what do you want conference to look like for you, and then reverse engineer it. And you should be doing the same with your 2018 goals. If you want something for the end of 2018, then work back from there of what needs to happen. And then I just want to touch on, I wrote down a couple of things, because I had even my own daughter, she is wanting to buy her first home. She's got this goal, and when she turns 18, she's never ever going to rent. So she's going to buy her first home. She uses it when she wants mascara and makeup and that. Mummy, can you pay? And I'm like, no, pay for it yourself. And she's like, oh, but I'm saving for my house. So she uses it to her advantage sometimes. But I said to her today, have you done your vision board? Because she leaves for Japan tomorrow for a week with the school. And she's like, her comment back to me, which was really interesting, was, it's already January, it's too late. And I was like, wow, it's interesting, and I'm sure a lot of other people probably have that story, because that's just a story in your head, right? And I said to her, what do you mean it's already January? Like, you've got 11 and a half months left, but you've already got that story of, I didn't do it before January, so it's too late. And I thought a lot of people probably do that. That's just how we are wired. Like, oh, it's too late, don't worry about it. And weeks go, and then months, and then you get to nearly towards the end of the year and go, I didn't even do anything this year. I didn't create anything. I didn't achieve anything. And why? Because I didn't actually put anything into place. So it's not too late to get started. And the other thing is, reaching out. I just really can't encourage you enough. Some people go, I've had a few team over the December period that I've reached out to, that I've noticed of having some challenges, and their response back to me is, yeah, I am, but I just like to deal with stuff on my own. You're not on your own in this business. You have so many people. Don't be afraid to reach out. I reached out to Adam the other day and was like, hey Adam, like, I really need to have a catch up with you. Let's just map out a few things. I've got some goals for 2018. Like, I'm an NMD, but I still need that. Right? I need that encouragement. I need someone to reach out to and go, hey, shit's real. This is challenging. What do I need to do? And someone to keep me accountable, right? So don't ever be afraid to reach out. And it might not be your upline. Don't be afraid to reach out to somebody else in the business if it's not your upline. Like, I've reached out sometimes to Adam, and other times I say, Adam, you're just not the person right now. You just can't help me. I need someone else. I need a female. I need Linda or something like that. So don't be afraid to reach out and, achieve what you want to achieve in 2018. Like, I felt amazing when I did my 2017. I pulled it all down, and, there's some things I didn't achieve. My paycheck didn't happen, but that's okay, because I think 90% of the other things I did, there's a couple of things. I didn't get my car, but I'm like, okay, I'm glad I didn't, because I actually don't want that car anymore. So that was probably pretty lucky. But it's a nice thing at the end of the year to really pull that down and just be like, you know what, actually I did do awesome. Because sometimes we beat ourselves up and go, wow, we're not actually doing enough. But when you take that time to look back at the end of the year and you go, shit, I actually did achieve a lot, and be proud of, those achievements, because it's hard sometimes. So I hope that gives you all something. I'm going to stop rambling on now, and I sort of see what Beck wrote. Yes, 100% Beck, and I'm going to be honest with that. I'm certainly not the most amazing person, but Wholesome Health page, like, we have so many recipes. We don't even actually have to find resources. We can just post different things in there. But for our Wholesome Health customers, we really do need to be posting more in there on a regular basis to keep them engaged, and get them interacting as well. Maybe when you're bringing on customers, let them know that they can, because they might not think they can post in there, but they might find a recipe or something that they can actually post in the Wholesome Health page. So I'm guilty of it, and I'm going to get back onto doing it.
Yeah, and also on that as well, I think it's really important for our team page as well, for everyone to contribute. Don't feel as though that you have nothing to add into our page or whatever, or I'm only a VF, I can't really be posting in this page. Like, I think here we are when we talk to potentials, or we get people on three-way calls and stuff, and we're going on about how amazing our tribe is, how supportive our tribe is. Everyone's there to, you know, hold your hand every step of the way. And then we put a post on our page, and you can see that 63 people have seen it, and not one single person has even hit the like button or taken a minute out of their time just to put a little comment in to encourage people, or just to show everyone that we are a supportive community. So I think that it's really important, as well as the wholesome page, to reflect that back onto our team page as well, because that is what we all are all about. We are all very supportive of each other, but I think we need to try and add some more value into that page, especially to show new people that, yeah, look at all these people commenting and cheering each other on, or saying that's amazing, or whatever it might be, rather than them getting added to our page and not seeing anyone really interacting or taking the time to put some stuff in there. So that would be cool too.
On that as well, don't forget, guys, we have that Believe in Yourself page, you know. Yeah, Leanne, you're funny.
That's okay, you and you, it's fine.
I've taught her now. You know, the Believe in Yourself page, Shanika and I invest a lot into having the videos done, you know, for that kind of page. So when you have someone that's interested in the business, even though you still want to follow the system, you know, of sending them a link, all that kind of stuff, but ask them in the very beginning, we have an amazing page I'd love to add you to. Is it okay if I add you to that? And they say yes, then that Believe in Yourself page, add them in there and tag them in the pin post with a little message. You'll see Tanika and I's messages to people we have added in there. And at least then when you send them the link and you do the follow-up, and you follow up and follow up and follow up, and they don't reply to you, because that does happen sometimes, then you can, at least they're in that page and they're getting exposure to our community.
It's called Believe in Yourself, Trace.
I'll add you, Trace. So I haven't added everyone in the page, because I'm not just going to add, you know, all the teaming, because people, not everyone wants to be in every single page, and we respect that. So that's why, you know, I might actually do a post in our Facebook page, in our team page again, just to remind people. But the great thing about that is there's an album of so many videos. I can't remember how many there is, maybe 8 or 9 or something like that. And it's all different people from our team. So there's all different like walks of life of people that someone they're going to resonate with. There's Sneaker as a mum of 3. There was me as a business owner. There's Rach that's a plumber. You know, there's a Hayley that's a quiet, shy mama and lost herself. You know, there's so many different stories in there, and even if they don't join your team, you know they're in a page and getting exposure. So it's probably another page that we can be adding value in. But that page, we don't want anything at all about Juice Plus, no Zoom events, no product information. It's really just positive, inspirational posts. It's nothing about, hey, come and join our business, because that's done separately with that person that you're communicating with. I hope that makes sense.
I just added you, Trace, and if anyone else wants to be added, just let me know. I'll add Helena and Leanne. But yeah, Kylie, if you want to do that post, I think that'd be good, because I think some people have forgotten about it. And it is good to, you know, even if you are just having conversations with potentials, that you can say, and you know, it might not be going anywhere, the conversation or whatever, but if you add them to that page, and then they can see that we are really just all about inspiring other women to live the best life that they possibly can. And so many people don't have that positivity that we have in our community with our tribe. You know, if you think back to before you started in Juice Plus or whatever, and you were just living day to day and not having visions or goals, or having people surrounding you that are really inspiring and positive, a lot of people still don't have that these days. So to be part of a page like that, where we can add value and inspiration, that could be all that it takes for them to get that feeling and want to be surrounded and part of that. So yeah, it's definitely a good page to add people to. I'm going to stop recording.